I hear you. Okay. Here comes the pits. All right, thanks. Thank you for joining us on KTLA.com. I'm Colton Von Pertz in Sky 5. We're following a pursuit of a assault with a deadly weapon suspect here in just south of the 101 at about Topanga. This is Fallbrook Avenue and DeVell. You see LAPD in pursuit of this vehicle. It's been going on for about 15 minutes now. We're in a dead end here. We'll see what happens. And we're going through the fence. Wow, through the fence, ramming through that fence there into this dirt lot. We'll see what happens on the other side. Looks like there's a parking lot. We'll see if the car can make it through that soft dirt there. And we're fully off-roading here. So this pursuit's made its way pretty much through the area of the Topanga division of LAPD. We've been on multiple of the surface streets, actually on the 101 freeway where they asked for CHP to take over, but then we got back on those surface streets. You can see the suspect here stuck on this soft dirt berm here right by this sidewalk. That car is pretty much disabled right now. He's just sitting in there. Looks like he's on his phone right now. We'll have to see what happens with LAPD. As they attempt to figure out a plan to approach this vehicle, that driver didn't want to stop for them, that's for sure. So we'll have to see what the situation is once they devise that plan and see if the suspect does comply with their orders. But the airship's overhead watching that suspect in the vehicle. The ground units are positioning themselves to set up a perimeter, and then from that we'll see what happens as this situation continues here off of Ventura Boulevard and Royer Avenue. Try to see a better shot inside that window while we have the time. A little bit dark this time of day. Looks like he's reaching under his seat. They're a little bit worried about that. I'm hearing that on the scanner, that they're worried about what he might be reaching for. And he's not complying to their requests. Okay, copy, thanks. And as we pull out to a wider shot, you can just see the amount of units that have responded to this. You have the original units that are stuck in that cul-de-sac, and then you have the units that are attempting to apprehend that suspect here by that RV out here on Ventura Boulevard in this this green space here. Now in this situation, time's on the officer's side. They have the suspect surrounded. They have their cover, and so no matter what the suspect does, they can be ready with a plan. You can see the suspects, or the officers have their guns drawn. They're essentially right now making commands to that suspect to come out of the vehicle, put their hands up, and surrender, but he's not doing that at this time. That air unit's still looking in that front windshield, trying to figure out what that suspect's doing, as well as with the way that car is angled as we kind of move Sky 5 around here. You can see it's kind of on a hillside there. They have a pretty good line of sight into that vehicle as well. Now what they're saying right now is that suspect's actually on the phone. They think he might be trying to contact either the 911 dispatchers or the victim that was involved in this assault with a deadly weapon that started this pursuit. They are talking to that victim. They have officers with that victim right now. So if that's the case, they'll be able to get more information that way. And additionally, if he's talking to 911, those dispatchers are going to do their best to get information about why this suspect's running, what's going on in his head, and what we can do to end this situation peacefully, and they'll relay that to those officers on the ground. Okay. If we look back, you can just see the tracks where that car made its way through this parking, or this... Go ahead, Matt. Okay. Probably the other side. I know. So what those officers are trying to do is just communicate with that suspect, get him to come out of the vehicle peacefully. First things first is throwing those keys out, even though that car we think is disabled. It might have some more spunk in it if you were to try to move it again, but it looks pretty well stuck on that berm of dirt. LAPD Airship 11, Air 11 is overhead still looking inside that vehicle, telling those officers on the ground what's going on inside that vehicle, as well as setting up the perimeter around this now termination of pursuit, so that if the suspect were to get out and decide to run, there are officers stationed in the vicinity that can easily apprehend that suspect. Ventura Boulevard, and the cross is Royer, R-O-Y-E-R. It looks like the suspect right now is trying to open that driver door to get out of the vehicle, but he's unable to. We saw his foot go back on the brake, and he's kind of messing with the steering wheel right now. It looks like he's probably trying to move that vehicle that's well stuck in that dirt. Now, it's a front-wheel drive car, so if those front wheels are stuck down in that mud and you have that heavy engine right there, it's not going anywhere. He looks really frustrated in there right now. Foot back on the brake. And he's back on his phone. There's a few different things they can do to help the suspect get out of the vehicle. They can bring in SWAT. They can use less than lethal to bust out the windows. There's a bunch of different options that they are considering on the ground right now. The easiest way and the most safe way is always for that suspect just to give out and give up peacefully. They have called out the canine units to this scene just in case that suspect does run. Those canine officers and their dogs are a lot faster to apprehend a suspect than the ground officers can be. They can even send a canine into the vehicle and pull that suspect out if necessary, but they do have to call those units into the area if they aren't in the area already, so that they are here and staged in the case that they are needed. Now the suspect's still on his phone, kind of leaning over on that center console of the car. You can see there. What the LAPD is doing right now is they're just figuring out their plan. They're starting to set up a command post for those supervisors and the commanders to come out and start devising that plan. You can see all the officers still shining their lights inside that vehicle. Still guns and less lethal weapons poised just in case they are necessary. And they've started to set up that perimeter. I'll pull out to a little bit wider shot. You can see how they're keeping the public back on the other side of the street. We've seen them move people out of the area over here as well by this RV. Still some stragglers over there. But the last thing you want to do when you're around a pursuit termination is get close, because you're putting yourself in harm's way. It can be interesting, but the better option is just to watch it online or on the news, because then you are safe. But in this situation, time is on the officer's side. They have the position of concealment and advantage. They can see what that suspect's doing inside that vehicle, and they have the whole night ahead of them. One of the issues they're running into, though, is Ventura Boulevard is a very busy street here in the Woodland Hills area, and they have some traffic stuck here that was stopped when that pursuit terminated. And what they're going to have to do is turn those vehicles around and send them down some side streets, like you can see here. They're going back into that alleyway. It's going to be a little more tough with that bus. Getting that to do a three-point turn is a lot of work. And what they're probably going to do is shut down Ventura here at Wood Lake Avenue here when they have officers to do so. They've already done that on the other side, Ventura and Royer. They've already done a roadblock there. Okay. Okay. Hey, Matt. Hey there. Okay, just a hit, or are you guys gonna stick with me? Oh, okay, copy that. Copy. Micah shared, this is Woodland Hills, Ventura Boulevard at about Royer Avenue. You can see that suspect vehicle stuck on a sand berm or dirt berm here in this field. This was quite the pursuit starting in the Topanga division of LAPD. What we understand is the suspect is wanted for assault with a deadly weapon that came out about 5 o'clock. It quickly turned into a pursuit. You can see some footage from earlier popping up on the right side of your screen, weaving through streets. Going at some pretty high rates of speed for these neighborhoods here. At one point, the suspect did get on the 101 freeway and went a few exits until it got it down. You can see LAPD almost was able to do a pit maneuver. However, the car was going just too fast. It came into a dead end, into a cul-de-sac. You could see that there, and it just rammed through a gate fence and started going into this dirt lot. You can see here the car made its way through that dirt lot, getting into some very, very soft dirt and getting stuck on this berm before it made it down to a sidewalk. You can see now LAPD has set up a perimeter, and they are attempting to talk that suspect out of the vehicle, but at this point they haven't had any luck. At one point that suspect did try to move that vehicle again, but the front wheel drive axle of that vehicle is stuck in that dirt, and with the heavy weight of that engine, he was unable to move the vehicle. So at this point, what they're doing is they're just trying to get information on the victim, what happened there, who the suspect might be talking to on his cell phone. He's been on his cell phone quite a bit, and then figure out the best tactic to take over and apprehend this suspect. What they've done is they've shut down Ventura Boulevard in both directions between just about Woodlake Avenue and Royer Avenue and are diverting traffic into the neighborhood to avoid this situation. They've also had to clear out some of these RVs you've seen here. They've also had to clear out some pedestrians that have come to see the situation. Very dangerous situation sitting at a termination of a pursuit because you never know what's going to happen. But LAPD is doing what they do best. They have their airship over it, looking inside the windshield of that vehicle to notify those officers on the ground of what the suspect is doing inside that vehicle. We're going to keep an eye on this pursuit termination here in Woodland Hills. I'm Colton Von Pertz in Sky 5. I'm going to send it back down to you. Yep. Send it to Sky 5. We did our hit. What's your pleasure? Okay, that thing out in West Covina, I guess it went into the IKEA parking structure and never came out.